No lectures, no judgments or put downs. Write it directly to your child because in the family session you will be reading it directly to your child, so don't write it in the third person. Consequences of the past, not the future. Just mentioned that. And in the feelings, in the final category of emotions, remember I said incident, consequence, and emotions. Feelings words only in the emotion column, and we're going to show you an example of this in just a bit. So in the emotions category, it's I felt scared, sad, frustrated, hurt, powerless, period. It's not I felt scared, sad, frustrated because, my uncle died from this illness of addiction and we talked to you about this before. None of that stuff goes in that category. Feelings words only. Okay, so the different areas of life that you see in the chemical use assessment that you printed out are school, family, friends, money, legal, sports, health, mental health, employment. Could add, again, spirituality, relationship to community, their relationship to themselves, and any other additional examples that are drug related. Again, how are you going to organize your perceptions and presentation of this? You're going to write it in the format of the drug related incident, the consequence to their child from that incident, to your child from this incident, and how you felt about it. And now here's an example to make it more clear for you. So in the category of school, the incident would be, here's a really good example. Very concrete, very specific. It's from the past. There's no lectures, no judgments, no put downs, nothing about the future. And here goes. The incident. 6 months ago, we got a call from your school stating you were caught with drugs. The consequence to them, you were suspended for 5 days and we grounded you for 2 weeks. My emotions, I felt scared, frustrated, confused, and angry. That's exactly the format that you want to use as you look at the different categories. School, family, health, friendships, social life, money, legal, spirituality, relationship to community, and any other additional examples. Now, you saw that, and you see it on the chemical use assessment you have in front of you that you printed out off the website, that there are categories. Take, for example, the category of employment. If your child has never had a job, of course you're not going to put anything in that category. So again, nothing about the future. What you might want to do is, you might find yourself wanting to do is put in the category of employment. Let's say your child's 15 years old, they've never had a job, and you might find yourself wanting to state, if you keep using drugs, you'll never get a good job because most good jobs drug test new hired employees. Not going to put that there. If there aren't anything, if there's nothing from the past related to employment, leave that category blank. Now, if a couple of months ago or even 3 years ago, because we want you to put everything that's occurred from the past. If 3 years ago your child was fired because they went to work with alcohol in their breath, or they didn't show up for their shift because they were hungover, or they chose to not show up to work because they went to go get high instead, then you definitely want to list that on there as well. Okay, so after you complete that chemical use assessment, turn it into your child's counselor as soon as possible, or if you feel stuck with that, contact your child's counselor so that you guys can spend some time working on that together. They can prompt you in a way to kind of help you look at it and help you to have ways of thinking about it. And that's your child's counselor's job, is to help educate and support you in your role to help your child. And this chemical use assessment is a very important part of that role. Now, definitely don't mention this chemical use assessment and family session to your child. We'll bring it up with them when the time is right. You could imagine that in the beginning of the counseling process, if you shared with your child that, hey, pretty soon, son or daughter, we're going to have a family session where you're going to tell us your entire drug use history and all of the consequences it's created for you. They would shut down, they'd be resistant, they'd be dishonest. So we don't want that to happen. We will tell them about the family session when they're comfortable with us, when we've finished the assessment and the time is right to do that. So again, finally, just the ground rules: no lectures, judgments, or put downs. And in the emotions category, just put feelings words only. Final thoughts, as I mentioned, turn the chemical use assessment into your child's counselor as soon as possible, and then proceed on to the next video. I think my other final thought is one of the main reasons we do this session is, if you kind of picture this process, they started out They start out not recognizing it as a problem, their drug use as a problem, and then they talk to us about how their drug use is a problem. They read on paper how their drug use is a problem, and then they present to you how their drug use is a problem, and you're presenting to them how it's a problem via the chemical use assessment. And now we've led that horse to water. The other thing about why we have this family session is that when they're sharing with us how chemical use has created consequences, sometimes they're only recognizing it at an intellectual level. And when they share it with their family, the people who love them the most, and somehow takes it from an intellectual level of knowing to a real gut level where it sinks it home, that it starts to make it really more real. They kind of own it a little bit more, and that's a very important part of the process. So, all right, if you have any questions, definitely contact your child's counselor, and then move on to the next video from here. Thank you.